All right. Did I unmute? Yes, I unmuted. Good morning. Camera is askew. One moment. Everything is fine. Yeah. Good morning, Dobby. Good morning, Kitsune. Good morning, Merlin. Yes, I got the noms. They did show up and they have been infriginated. They have been shoved into the fridge. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Alright. Fix this a bit. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing alright. New Carby is interesting. It looks a little bit like it has the chicken pox, but I'm sure he'll be fine. Soup! Soup is very good, especially in winter. Soup is wonderful in winter. What kind of soup? But yeah, hi, good morning. My name is SJ. I'm here to sew things, and probably at some point play board games, and recap yesterday's D&D session. That'll be at the top of the hour as usual. But yeah. Ooh, split pea soup. The kind you can stick a spoon in and have it stand upright. Yes, that is the best kind of winter soup. Oh, I should get Kara to make some of that. It's so good. Do you do yours with ham? Or like bacon in it? We usually do ours with like big meaty chunks of ham, and it's wonderful. Tea. Also, I am hoping my voice holds out for the whole stream. We'll kind of see how that goes. Tea. All right, so we have been Dutch spekius, I'm guessing, which are teensy bacon bits and a smoked sausage, rookworst. Ooh, oh, that sounds really, really good. Yes, excellent. Please enjoy the soup for me. That sounds really, really good. Yes, so we have been doing one hexagon every day. I'm a tiny bit behind. Not like massively. Just a little bit behind. I can't believe it's mid-December. How and why did it suddenly become mid-December? So these are last week's hexagons. So the ones that should have been sewn into the blanket last Sunday when I had a horrible cold. So we will sew those in this morning and then make this last week's like Monday through today's hexagons and then join those in. So we're a little behind, but not too bad. Time is inevitable. Gross. Let's do a little bit of a shuffle here. Sasha is downstairs asleep, curled up on the couch. She will probably join us at some point, unless she is just like so completely passed out she never wakes up. But yeah, I'm sure she'll come up and investigate us at some point. She usually does. She was actually sleeping on top of me, and then when I got up to come upstairs, she kind of oozed down off of my lap and just kind of curled up on the cushion. So she's eepy. There we go. That's shuffled. And then our large blanket. Where's the edge I was working from? It is over here. Taking you... Ooh. I don't know, Merlin. I've been to the store. That's a weird video. But also happy to accompany you. Are we going to the soup store? Ooh, that's a question. Here's my thimble. I'm definitely totally awake, you can tell. Everything is fine. Very awake. Very, like, on track. Very organized this morning. To the store for cat food, otherwise Theo will be angry. That does seem logical, yes. Should probably get cat food. How's that for camera? That's about right. There we go. Should probably grab things for a brunch. Also a good plan if you're going to the store anyway. You know, if you're grabbing food for Kat, also grab food for self. Banana. Banana is also good food. Good breakfast food. Do like a good banana. What's your banana ripeness level? Like, are you one of those people that wants it still green? Are you one of those people that wants it like super ripe and spotty? Or are you like an in-between person where it has to be like perfectly ripe? Green, fair. I'm definitely a perfectly ripe person. Like, if it's too green or too spotty, either one is not great. I prefer it slightly, if it's going to be one way or the other, I do prefer it slightly green. But I need it to be like that perfect edge of ripeness where it's like yellow all the way through and like starting to maybe go a little bit brown at the edges. Yeah, spotted is good for banana nut bread, for sure. But not, I don't like to just peel a spotted banana and eat it. Usually if they go spotty, yeah, we shove them in the fridge and then use them for banana nut bread. Or freezer. Yeah, not too green, greeny yellow. Perfect. Oh, now I want a banana. Might have to get one at work tomorrow. Also, eat your banana with a knife. That's fair. Although I have to say, when you say that, I'm picturing you just like stabbing the banana with the knife and then picking it up and eating it like a popsicle. Let's see. We've established none of these thread colors are great for my vision. It's fine. Nope, that didn't thread. Let's try that again. Nope. There we go. Morning is a time of day, one that you're not compatible with. That's fair. Hello, anyhow. But yeah, I feel that. There have been no baby times yet, so you haven't missed anything. When I came upstairs, she was curled up asleep on the couch, so she may or may not decide to join us. Store was awful as always during the holiday season. Boo. But also glad we could keep you company. I'm sure Theo thanks you as well, since it means he will not starve. Like a poor sad little kitty. Hello? Huh. How did that end up twisted like that? No. Uh-oh. What did I do? There we go. Gotta make sure it's actually looped and oriented properly, or it won't tighten when I pull on the thread like that. It'll just kind of tighten in place, and then I end up with this giant loop of thread with a weird knot in it. Nope, hang on. I'm getting texts from Kara. Let's see here. Kupo! Yes, Kupo. She's currently at work. She's just texting me about picking up a couple things on her way home, so hang on here. Please stand by. Thank you for your patience. Alright, excellent. Now, where was I? T is where I was. Give tea. Kara says, Kupopo back. As she does. As one Kupos. Ooh. In fact, she says Kupo-yo Puff, which is very advanced, and you should not try that at home unless you are a trained professional, as Kara is. Kupo-yo Puff. 3 in a row. as a reminder, I will be starting the D&D recap at the top of the hour, so if you need to run and grab refills on your drinks, run to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do, now might be an excellent time to do it. It shouldn't be an overly long recap. For being a full-length session, it doesn't feel like a lot happened yesterday. I mean, plenty happened yesterday. But, like, it's not going to be an excessively long recap. Lots of things happened, but they're lots of easily summarized things. I guess we can put it that way. Things happened yesterday? I sure hope so. Or else I was having really weird dreams. Yes, exactly. Actually, we usually do tiny mini recaps at the start of the next session anyhow. These recaps are mostly so that I can, like, ramble about my own theories and feelings and things on the session. Uh, and sometimes get things straight. Like, I'll have an assumption about something and Randis is like, no, that's not what happened, or that's not what that means. Which is very helpful. And then also I know some of you that aren't players have gotten invested in this silly little campaign. Like, be honest, if I stopped doing the recaps, you guys would wonder what happened. What our silly little party was getting up to. But yeah, so last time in the Cursed D&D campaign, we had just fought a fight against a human fighter barbarian named Curly and his tiefling girlfriend, a rogue by the name of Snide. We had managed to take them both out. We had encountered them before, except when we killed them last time, their bodies disappeared. This time, however, their bodies stayed put with, like, blood and everything. So hopefully this time it'll stick. Life mate. Okay, perfect. Yeah, partner, lover, life mate. Life mate would be the proper term. We had managed to kill them both, and then decided we should probably take another short rest. So during the short rest, a couple things happened. Phalar cast Detect Magic, since we no longer have access to Glint's automatic magic eyes. So Phalar cast Detect Magic so that he could take a look around for any potentially glowing magical loot, but didn't find anything. Nothing except the ring that Teak Garn had already found and laid claim to, because the ring apparently comes from Ravnica, or at least Teak Garn had recognized it as being from Ravnica, so he had taken charge of it. But that was the only magical thing that didn't, like, already belong to the party, that Phalar found. He did, however, while searching the bodies and searching the room, find a little bit more mundane loot. Curly had some rope on him, like 100 feet of hempen rope and then 50 feet of silken rope. He had his giant maul. Snide had a dagger and a hooded lantern, and a flask of oil that was presumably for the lantern, and thieves' tools, and rope burns. Around her wrists and ankles. As you do. It's fine. Yeah, you don't ritualistically give your horn to a boyfriend. Fair point. Yes, life mate would be the correct term, which is why we're kind of presuming the rope burns are consensual. But now we'll never know. So Glint took charge of the oil for flammable purposes. I believe Phalar took charge of the thieves' tools, just because nobody in our party has thieves' tools at the moment. And we've already come across several situations where they would have been helpful. So now at least we have a set. Whether or not they can be successfully used is a different proposition altogether. While Phalar was doing his thing, kind of searching, Lash and Landon went over to look at the brazier, because there is a brazier in this room, the fourth of the sixth that we need to find. No, we don't have a sneaky type. We have 2 paladins instead. We do not have a sneaky type. That becomes relevant in about 30 seconds. So Lash and Landon are examining the brazier, and as a note, they have all so far had different arcane symbols sort of etched into the bottom that indicates which element that we need to use to light the brazier. We have already come across cold, fire, and necrotic, so this is the 4th. Oh yeah, that's true. Typically light is our sneaky type, but light is currently away from the party. So as Lash and Landon are examining this arcane rune that's etched into this brazier, neither of them recognizes it right off. So Glint comes over to take a look, and Glint is able to recognize it as like, oh, that's the symbol for acid. So the party spends a minute just kind of staring at each other, because none of us really have ready access to acid. None of us are carrying anything. None of us have access to magic that would produce any kind of acid. I, sort of out of character, jokingly wonder if a tomato would work, but none of us has any tomatoes either. But then Landon remembers, oh yeah, didn't we kill an acidic slime not too far from here? And I should also note that Randus was kind enough to give Landon a map, because Landon had done the scouting, so he just linked us the appropriate map with areas that we don't know about, like blanked out, which was actually super helpful. So we were able to establish that, oh yeah, the place where we fought the slime when we first came in here is actually not too far. We've kind of looped around in a circle, and we're almost sort of headed back toward the entrance. There's a couple rooms further to the south we need to investigate, but it does kind of loop around. So Bram doesn't actually need a short rest at this point. So he decides, okay, while the rest of you are taking a breather, and while Phalar is sort of searching for loot, I'll run back over to where we killed that slime and see if I can gather up some of its remains, and we'll see if that's enough for the brazier. If it's not, then we can kind of figure out what plan B is. So Bram heads out. The secondary door in this room points west, and there's this little corridor that goes basically straight west to meet up with the initial sort of north-south corridor where we came in, and that's sort of where we had killed the slime. So he heads out of this room and starts heading straight west. He tries to be stealthy. Like, bless my pony paladin, he is trying. But he is a centaur in full plate mail. He rolls a 2 on his stealth. He's trying. I swear he's trying. So he starts sneaking. Heavy air quotes on sneaking. He tries so hard and got no far. It's true. That is extremely accurate. So he starts sneaking down this corridor. He can't hear anything. Like, it all seems quiet. Everything seems to be going good. He reaches the spot where we killed the slime. which is technically 2 slimes because we split it in half during the fight. He has a pot just as part of his equipment, so he kind of decides, okay, I'm gonna just try to like scoop some of these slime remains into the pot, and again, if it doesn't work, we'll figure out plan B from there. So he uses, his spoon or a shovel or a stick or a bit of rock or something, and starts kind of digging at the edge of these slime remains, and manages to, after a minute or two, like pry off, like pull, it's kind of like pulling on taffy, but after like a minute or so of pulling, he manages to like snap off like a little, just, not too big, but a little bit of a slime ball of slime remains that he sort of rolls into the pot. He takes 1 point of acid damage from kind of the splashback, as happens. It's fine. But he does manage to get a little bit of slime into his pot, and he's like, okay, good enough, we'll try this. And then we can always come back if it turns out we think we need more. So he stands up, gets his pot, is ready to start sneaking his way back. But as he pauses to listen, he realizes that he is actually hearing something now. Randus describes it as kind of being like almost a wooden sound, like almost kind of like wooden wind chimes. Yes, sneaking. But because of the way that there's like a bunch of intersecting corridors and everything is made of stone, because again, this is a cave system, all the sounds are like echoing really, really weirdly. Not talk with hands while there's a needle in one of them. I'm very good at this. I'm actually usually very conscious of where the needle is. Also, I can't not talk with my hands. That's what I do. Also, this thread is fraying. That's annoying. Why, thread? Why? Let's just hope it can get through this seam. Actually, I probably should just scrap this thread. That's fraying pretty badly. So he's hearing this sound like wooden wind chimes, but because of the nature of cave, it's sort of echoing all around him, and he can't quite tell where it's coming from. Like, he can't tell if it's coming from behind him or in front of him or to the north, to the south. Like, it's impossible to tell. So he's like, okay, crap. So he starts trying to sneak his way back. Again, he's being stealthy, so he's trying very hard to be stealthy. So Randus lets me roll a new stealth attempt, graciously. And this time he rolls a 6, so he's getting better at it. He is more stealthy now than he was before. So he starts sneaking his way back down the corridor toward where he left his friends. And it sounds like the noises are getting louder. So from this, Bram surmises that whatever direction they're coming from, they're getting closer. So he abandons stealth and gallops. He bolts. Because his thought is like, okay, if it's probably some kind of a patrol. If it's gonna catch me, I at least want to be closer to where everybody else is. And not like completely caught out on my own. So he bolts. And as he runs, he is probably making plenty of noise. See again, heavily armored centaur on stone floors. But as he bolts, it sounds like the noises are getting further away. Like they're getting softer as he runs. So from that, he surmises they're somewhere, probably behind him. He gets to the doorway where he had left everybody else, and he had closed the door behind him, so it's a closed door. And he kind of pauses there. And as he pauses, for like a full minute, he can hear the noises starting to get louder again. So he surmises they are coming in this direction. So he gets back inside to where everybody else is and goes, hey guys, I think we have company coming. It sounds like there's, something coming up behind me, but I can't tell what. But it sounded like, wood, some kind of wood banging together. And Lash kind of stares at him and kind of goes, well, it's a cave system. There's probably not wood, but you know what would sound a heck of a lot like wood? Bones. Moving bones. So that's fun. So Lash takes up a position beside the closed door because Bram let himself in and then immediately closed it again. Because he does have some intelligence. So Lash takes up a position by that door and kind of tries to listen, but it's a stone door, so can't really hear anything through it. Bram goes over to dump the little acid ball into the brazier, because again, his thought is kind of like, okay, if we're about to get discovered by a patrol, if things are about to get messy, we might not have time to do this later. Let's just do it now, see if it works or not. So he dumps the little acidic slime ball into the brazier, and the brazier immediately catches and lights with like this like eerie green acidic or yellowish, like yellowy acidic flame, which is great. Hooray, 4 out of the 6 have now been lit. So Bram, stows his pot and he goes to take up a position by the southern door, which, as a reminder, was completely blown off its hinges and is no longer closable. So he goes to take up a position by that door. And since that door is open, he can hear sort of the skeleton noises. And he can hear them and hear them. And then they start getting fainter and fainter as they leave. So whatever their patrol route was, they managed to like, they moved through their patrol route and circled away from us again. At which point, above table, Randus let us know that he had been rolling dice to determine whether or not Bram encountered a patrol and what kind of patrol. Because there's a couple different kinds of patrols that come through these caves. Like there's skeletons and there's zombies and there's, bugbears and other more intelligent creatures. And all of them behave in different ways, which makes perfect sense. So he had rolled up a skeleton patrol, and the skeleton patrols will just kind of walk on their set route, and they don't deviate. Like, they don't go investigate noises. They just walk on their route, and if they run into something, then they attack. But they're not going to go investigate the clattery horsey noises if they don't, like, actually run into anything or see anything. Yeah, the Skelly boys don't have a brain cell. Exactly. So it worked out well for us. So we were able to light the brazier, and we were able to finish up the short rest for everyone that needed one. And then we kind of had to decide, okay, what next? We know that there's 2 braziers left, but we don't know where they are. The third die was the number of things in the patrol. That makes sense. So we have 2 braziers left. We don't know where they are. We kind of think there's probably one in the room where Glint saw our eyeball friend, just because that seems to be the way people build dungeons these days. But we're holding out hope. Maybe the other 2 are like in a completely innocuous empty room and we'll never have to meet eyeball friend. Sorry, put the needle in my mouth. That's why I have a magnet. I should use it. So once we've finished our short rest and kind of regrouped ourselves, we decide to head down to the south. Because there's kind of two rooms down there that we know exist, or like two hallways sort of that we know exist, but we don't know what's down them because there were closed doors, so Landon wasn't able to scout what was beyond them when he sent his little scouting buddy in. The room the party is ignoring. Yes, we totally don't guard the key to our magic door. No, why would they do that? That's silly. They should leave things out where adventuring parties can find them. They just need better security to keep the adventuring parties from getting in at all. So we head down to the south, and so there's a hallway to the south, and then there's kind of like an open area where a couple other hallways come in, which we know where both of them lead to. And then there's further south, and then that's where the two doors are. So as we're kind of heading down this hallway, we come into this sort of open area, and it has, so it's got carvings on the walls of like dwarves and gnomes doing mining things. So like your typical slice of life mining reliefs carved into the walls. And there's, I think, 9 sort of brass lanterns that are set either into little alcoves or like on little shelves sort of ringing around the area. And on the floor are bones, like lots and lots of skeletons. Mostly dwarves, probably, just judging kind of from the size. And like the way it was described, it's not necessarily like individualized bodies. They're not like completely scattered about. Like within like a 6-foot sphere, you would find all of the bones for like one person, but it's not like it's an articulated skeleton where it's just like a skeleton laying on the ground. They are kind of like kicked around and separated out. Like it's not neatly laid out bodies, but neither is it like just completely scattered. So on account of this, everybody's kind of watching where they're walking, because like we're all kind of like the way Bram termed it, like he doesn't want to step on anyone. Like these are still bodies in a sense. We don't have the time or the resources to like try to stop and either treat them with more respect or gather them up, or whatever you might do to sort of pay more respect to them. But we don't want to like step on anyone. We don't want to do more harm than what has already been done. So we're all kind of looking down, we're watching our feet, we're taking care where we step. Lash and Bram are in the lead, with kind of Phalar and Landon and Glint behind them, and then Gundred and Teagarn taking up the rear to kind of watch our backs. So as we sort of move into this open area, there's, well, I guess our first hint of trouble, above table, our first hint of trouble is Randus having us roll initiative at disadvantage, which is always fun. In game, the first hint of trouble is probably Mint, because Glint has asked him, because again, Mint has a 30-foot sphere of blind sight. So Glint has asked him, like, hey, if you notice anything that's not any of us, like anyone in the party, if you notice anything moving, can you please let me know? And Mint, of course, was like, uh-huh. So our first hint of trouble was Mint going, Mama, that rock's moving. And then immediately these, like, giant mosquito-like things kind of drop down on us from the ceiling. Now, I say giant, but it's only giant in relation to regular mosquitoes. Like, they're still tiny creatures, so I'm picturing them as being like, you know, basketball sized. They're huge mosquitoes, but still not like huge in relation to the party, if that makes sense. Sturges, exactly. We fought these things before. We came across a bunch of them in the Woodland Mansion up in the Neverwinter Woods. They are face-sized. Yeah, exactly. There we go. So we've come across them before. We weren't really expecting to find them here. Yeah, Dark Souls mosquitoes, exactly. So one drops down onto Bram and like tries to latch onto his back, but can't quite find a way to like stick its little needle nose in through his armor, so it just kind of like flails against his armored back. Another one drops down onto Lash, but likewise can't quite find purchase. One drops onto Glint, and unfortunately does indeed manage to like sink its nose into like the back of her neck, like where the back of her neck meets the top of her back. And Glint, poor Glint, immediately is like, get it off, gross, make it go away. You know, doing the cat flailing thing, trying to like snatch it off of herself. And trying to remember who the fourth one dropped down onto. Was it Landon? I think it dropped down onto Landon's back first. Oh, Lashes did hit. Okay, Lashes got it. My Discord was acting up for a couple minutes, so I missed a little bit of some things. But yes, thank you. Lashes did manage to latch on and hit. Right, Phalar was the fourth one. So the fourth one tried to drop down onto Phalar, but when it did, because he had seen them drop down onto other people and sort of, I guess, felt it land on his back and was able to cast shield. So it landed on his back but wasn't able to latch on. T-Garn reacted immediately and was like, oh hell no, and just kind of reached out and grabbed the one that was on Phalar's back, and because it hadn't like sunk in, T-Garn was able to just like rip it off of Phalar's back and like fling it into the wall, where it kind of like bug splatted into the wall. It's fine. Lash had their like polearm glaive, so they had the bright idea, like they whirled around and was able to see the one on Bram's back. They had felt the one that he felt the one that hit him, but of course you can't really see the back of your own neck. So he's kind of goes and whirls around and sees the one on Bram's back, and so he's able to use like the butt end of his glaive and like sweeps it down Bram's back like horizontally. Hello, ma'am. You've come to play D&D with us. Yes, hello. Hi. Yes, hi. You're here just in time. So Lash is able to like sweep his staff down Bram's back horizontally and like baseball swat the Sturge off of Bram's back. Yes, hello. Let me adjust the camera for you. Yeah, 2 HP is fantastic. Yes, hello. Hello. Are you gonna settle, or are you just gonna sit here and scream for a minute? Yeah, kitty. So Lash is able to sweep the one off Bram's back, and then he pulls out his dagger and sort of like flips it around and tries to stab like down his own back to try to get the one that's on him. Doesn't quite manage it because of course that's an awkward angle and a weird line when you can't see what you're doing and you're trying not to stab yourself. Yes, a baby. There we go. Yes, hello. Or does he manage to hit his own? Because the one gets off of his back somehow. And then somebody is also able... Yeah, we've all had those itches, exactly. Sometimes you just want to take a knife to it. And then somebody is able to snatch the one off of Glint's back as well. Just kind of to rip it off. Oh, I know what it is. It's Word of Radiance. So Landon sort of steps forward and is able to use Word of Radiance to kind of radiantly explode the one that's on Glint and the one that's on Lash. Yes, hello. But we're not out of initiative yet. So Gundred sort of takes a look around. He's up next. He kind of takes a look around and is like, okay, I think we got them all, you guys. And Bram also kind of turns around to sort of regroup with everybody else. It's like, all right, is everyone okay? Like, did we get them all? Are there any still kind of lingering on anybody's backs? Yeah, Gundred rolled a 5. I mean, above table, we weren't out of initiative yet, so we knew there had to be more around. But when you can't see them and they haven't revealed themselves yet, there's only so much Gundred could do. However, a couple more abruptly drop down from the ceiling. One of which manages to land not on Landon's back, but on Landon's face because it rolled a crit. So it just kind of like, yeah. As you might imagine, Landon was not terribly pleased about this. Not in the least. And I believe a second one tried to latch on to Glint as well. Again, my Discord was not happy with me during this bit. But we do manage to take care of the second wave of them, the second drop attack of terrible mosquitoes. And we all kind of look around, make super sure that we don't see any more. And then kind of continue to, kind of dust ourselves off a bit. Yeah, freaky little guys, exactly. And continue making our way down to the south. So we pass through this sort of open area and back into a hallway. It's like maybe a 10-15 foot hallway that ends in like a T-junction. It ends in a dead end. And there's a door to the left and a door to the right. So we kind of rock, paper, scissors and determine, well, okay, let's head to the west first, because we know there's these two rooms and then there's a couple over to the east that we still need to clear, including the one with the eyeball in it. So we figure, okay, let's start down here and we'll kind of work our way around. So Lash heads over to that door and pops it open and peers in. And he sees, a not too big, but not terrible. Like, it's, a standard size, like 30-40 foot room. There's nothing like immediately obvious in it. Like, there's no brazier that we can see. Nothing like immediately obvious as being interesting. Except there's a few corpses. There's like a couple half-rotten, like, zombie ogres, like, fallen over on the ground. And then, like, a scattering of, like, 5 or 6-ish dwarven corpses just kind of laying around him. But, like, they're not moving. They're not, like, twitching or anything. They're corpses. And they don't react at all to, you know, Lash opening the door or anything. So Lash steps into the room to try to get a better look and kind of do some more, I guess, hands-on searching to make sure that there's nothing of interest in there. Bram walks over to the other door and isn't opening it yet, but like wants to be ready, because Lash, you know, didn't react to like, oh, there's this, or oh, there's anything interesting. So Bram kind of figures that they'll just clear that other room quickly and then head off into this one. So he sort of positions himself at this other door, just to be ready. Zombie ogre sounds like spoilers. That's what you called them. That's what the box text called them, and that's what the token on them said. Zoger. Yeah, there you go. It's a Zoger. Or, like, I guess if you want to be technical, a corpse ogre or a Kogre. So Tiggarn and Gundred also stay outside. They kind of hang out in the hallway. Again, keeping watch on our backs, making sure nothing is coming up behind us. Phalar and Landon head into the room as well. I don't remember precisely what they were looking for. I think they were just in general kind of looking around, checking to see if there was anything interesting or noteworthy in the room that would be of help to us. Called them zombie corpses. Yes, okay, fair. Glint goes in because Glint actually has a plan. Glint has her Wand of Secrets, which she can use to detect any... Oh, that's right. That's what they were looking for. So Landon and... yes, thank you, Randus, because that is actually fairly important. So Landon and Phalar headed inside because they were like, oh, hey, corpses. We should look for Wolfsbane, because we know Wolfsbane sort of feeds on blood and grows in places where there's been like repeated, prolonged death events, essentially. And reminder for anyone that might have forgotten, because it has been a while, we are looking for Wolfsbane because we have some number of were-rats in need of curing. Specifically Phalar, Light, and Merrick that got bit by were-rats and now have problems, and we are attempting to gather the materials to be able to cure them. So that's why we're on the lookout for Wolfsbane. So Landon and Phalar go in to like start trying to take a look around for the to see if there's any Wolfsbane here. Glint has her Wand of Secrets, so she looks in, and seeing that this looks like you know, like a dead end room, like it goes in and there's a room, but there's like no other doors or tunnels or hallways leading off of it. Her thought is like, maybe there's a secret door that kind of leads further somewhere. So she goes in to use her Wand of Secrets to try to figure out if there's any doors or traps. But she doesn't get anything. Like neither thing pings the wand. which is sad, but you know, it happens. However, as Glint is walking into the room and brandishing her wand to look for secrets, that means there's 4 people in the room, which turns out to be the, I guess, magic number that causes the zombies to get up and try to eat us. So, yeah. So we have 2 zombie ogres and, what was it, 6 zombie dwarves that kind of stand up and start making grabby noises at or grabby hands at our brains. 6, yes, that's what I thought. How rude, I know, exactly. They could have just stayed where they were and continued their naps, but no. So we all roll initiative again. Landon, however, has the brilliant idea, not even sarcasm, legitimately, and immediately casts Turn and Sear Undead. And he's able to position in such a way that it does in fact hit all of them. So both of the zombie ogres and all of the dwarves. So Randus starts rolling saves. Both of the zombie ogres. Oh, and I should also mention, as all of the zombies start making noises and presumably moaning and shifting around and getting up, Phalar does actually happen to spy that there's a vine of wolfsbane growing out of the eye sockets of one of the ogres. So he kind of does the sort of thing, where it's like, I found it, oh no, it's moving. So he's not able to get at it yet. So Landon casts Turn and Sear Undead, and both of the ogres fail, and I think all but 1 or all but 2 of the zombie dwarves fail. There was quite a few failures, which was fantastic. Unfortunately, as the searing part of the Turn and Sear Undead happens, and this sort of radiant light bursts through all of the ones that failed their saves, which includes both of the ogres, the wolfsbane that had bane growing out of one of them just kind of shrivels up and dies and flakes into dust, because wolfsbane can't stand the light. It needs to be gathered and kept in darkness, and radiant damage is definitely very light based. So unfortunately, no more wolfsbane. It was a good thought, though, unfortunately. So now we have some zombies to take care of. However, all of the ones that have been turned are trying desperately to get away from Landon, as they do. Both of the ogres try to bolt into opposite corners of the room and just kind of try to dig themselves into the corners, because one of them runs toward the door and sort of ends up in the corner beside the door. But it's too big to fit out the door, which Randus leaves me with questions of how it got here in the first place. Did they build the cave system around the ogres? Were the ogres born here and then grew up in it? How did the ogres get here if they don't fit through the door? But in any case, it doesn't fit through the door, so it just kind of stays in the corner cowering. Several of the, all of the dwarves that have failed are also trying to run away from Landon and press themselves into the sides and the corners of the rooms. Lash is able to yell back out into the hallway we've got zombies. a wizard did it is the real answer. Reduce is a spell. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, fair enough. Which brings to mind the question of what the hell were they guarding in here? Like, why put two ogres into this seemingly completely random room? Especially since Glint didn't find any secrets? Question mark? But anyway, I guess we'll put a pin in that. Like the saying says, reduce, recycle, reanimate. Exactly. There we go. So Bram is able to, alerted by Lash shouting back out to them that, hey, they're zombies. Bram comes running into the room and immediately finds himself, face to face with a very large zombie ogre friend. And because he had been out of the room, he's not aware that Landon had cast Turn Undead. So he immediately smacks the zombie ogre that's right next to him and unturns it. It's now pissed at him. But, it happens. Especially since, Teat Garn also comes charging into the room directly after Bram and does the exact same thing where he goes, oh, zombie ogre, right here. I must smack it. So Teat Garn also smacks it. Not only with his rapier, but also with a Divine Smite, which does excellent extra damage to the undead. I'm trying to think of anything else notable, like how this, because for the most part this was a fairly standard fight. We took turns smacking zombies. Some of the zombies tried to smack us. Oh, okay. As a reminder, the forge was run by a bunch of wizards. They weren't guarding anything. It was a weapon storeroom. The ogres were weapons/transport equipment to said wizards. The caved-in tunnel to the south was the old main entrance. Oh, okay, yes. That does make a lot of sense. Thank you. Okay. That does make a lot of sense. Interesting. But yeah, for the most part, this was a fairly standard fight. We traded smacks back and forth. Landon and Glint were able to use Word of Radiance to do good damage against zombies. For the most part, the zombies don't have a ton of HP, so they all just kind of went down after a few good whacks. For some reason, there was a lot of innuendo happening around, bonking the zombies and their holes being filled with holy, and as you do. It's fine, perfectly innocent, fun D&D times. The second ogre that had been turned, we were able to just kind of leave it in a corner and concentrate on the one by the paladins and get it killed. Like extra killed, finality killed. And then we're able to turn our attention to the second one. So it actually turned out being a fairly straightforward and easy fight because of the turn undead, and we were able to kind of concentrate on one enemy at a time and burn them down without having to worry about the other one, which was very helpful and very convenient. And as we finished up that fight and took out the last one, it was just about right at 4:00. And various people were getting hungry, and Eepy and Randus's headphones were dying. So we determined that we would call the session there, and do some more proper, thorough, presumably searching the bodies. Oh, right, that makes sense. If you recall, the bugbears and the zombies didn't get along because the zombies are original to the caves and don't work for the spider. That makes sense. So the zombies have been here all along, and then the bugbears et al. Moved in after. That makes sense. Nifty. Was the floating flaming skull the original foreman? Is my question. Oh, I should not have tied that off. This is what I get for being eepy. It goes here. Everything is fine. But yeah, so our next session is theoretically in 2 weeks, which would be December 28th. So we'll kind of play it by ear and see who all is available, whether or not we have a session then. It was always a flaming skull, and yes, it did work for the wizards. Okay, neat. Those damn bugbears on motorcycles are back. So yeah, like I said, yesterday was like a full session, and plenty of stuff happened, but I don't know, it's weird. Like that second fight, because it was such a standard combat, like nothing particularly dramatic or surprising happened. So it's just kind of like in my brain is like, yep, standard combat. The end. Like I don't have... Yeah, well no, combat is fine. Combat is great, and I had plenty of fun. It's just like there wasn't anything particularly notable about it. As far as like, nobody got knocked unconscious. Nobody had to use a big flashy spell other than like the turn and sear undead. Nobody got their skull smacked open or anything. Nobody got stabbed. It was just kind of like a tank and spank, which is fine. I had plenty of fun, so not every combat needs to be big and dramatic and cinematic, I guess. The book's description for the flaming skull. A flame skull. This creature was a servant of the dwarves' human wizard allies, and it continues to act on ancient instructions to prevent any intruders from passing through this area. Neat. Excellent. Aha, and Kuma has redeemed a board game arena to be taken when I next desire a break. Excellent. That will be probably about now. Let me tie off this seam, because it is about that time. Randus has also redeemed a hydrate. Excellent, thank you. And a stretch. Good. Excellent. Perfect timing all around. trim out this paper before I forget. Oh, other important thing from D&D yesterday. Sasha curled up right beside me and was my companion for basically the entire session. Because she just kind of fell asleep on the couch next to me and then laid there snoring for 3 hours. Well, and the other thing about this kind of fight is, like, yes, it felt like an easy fight, but when it's the middle of when it's the middle of, when it's the middle of a large dungeon like this, it's also, like, it's part of a larger thing. Like, it's a fight of attrition, right? Like, we're hitting the point where we really are having to think about our resources and, like, conserving spell slots and conserving resources because we don't know how many more fights we're gonna have to go through. So, like, yes, this was an easy fight, but, like, every spell we're at the point in this dungeon where every spell slot we use, every chip of HP we take might actually make a difference 3 fights from now. So, yeah, exactly. It still took resources. It's still, you know, it's one thing if we were, like, walking through the woods and had just taken a long rest and hit a fight like this and it was super easy and fine and then kept going to another long rest and there was nothing else in between. That's, you know, that's one thing. But when it's like, when it's in the middle of a giant dungeon like this and it's part of a chain of fights where we don't get to replenish much in the middle, it still counts, right? Like, in that sense, it wasn't necessarily an easy fight. So, yeah, mixing it up is fantastic. And if it was, like, a chain of, like, super hard fights, then it would be, I feel like, almost frustrating. So it's nice to have this sort of an easier fight where we can just kind of smack things to make us feel good about, like, okay, yeah, cool. Like, we're getting through this. This one was easy. This one was good. But we are still grinding ourselves down, you know? So it's yeah, there's still the black spider at the absolute minimum that we're gonna have to fight. So yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, well, I am gonna get up and take a break. I am going to stretch and hydrate. Everybody else should also do those things. Get up, stretch, hydrate, cycle your fluids, refill your drinks. And I'll be back in a couple minutes to do board games. And then we'll transition back to hexagons. So, yep. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Alrighty there. We are back. Let me... there we go. Yes, kid. Soup. Soup. I don't know what the weather is like where you are, but the weather here is like perfect soup weather. Yeah, alright. Let's see what board games I've got going. Okay. So the red is my wild card this round. So I do have one wild card. Could play the white here. The white here, the green. Yeah, okay. So let's start with that there. Ooh, a bonus. Right, a bonus tile. Actually, let's do that. All right. Next. Okay, Forest Shuffle. I think my play here is just this rabbit. Slide that in there. Free points. Next. Another Forest Shuffle. So scoring, gain 5 points. I need to have another 2 cards to be able to play that though, so let's draw cards. Ooh, good. A butterfly I don't have yet. Excellent. Next. Okay. Play that. Right. Actually, I think I want this one for the science tag. Yes, I definitely do. Yoink that. And then this is sort of... So this is spend energy to raise the oxygen, which we don't need to do actually. So let's take this one.
Okay. Azul. What have we got down here? Single. Yes, I will take that. Thank you. That goes there. Next. Okay. Cribbage. Let's start with this one. Don't think I'm winning this hand, but I will give it a go. I guess let's put this here. No, let's put it here. All right, and then this one, let's put that here or here. Let's do here. Okay. So select them to buy. Add 3 microbes to another card and 2 animals to another card. I don't have any animals, but I do have microbes. So let's grab that. I want that because I want to be able to play as many plant tags as possible. How many events do we have? 3, 2, 4, 1. And do I want the breathing filters? It is just, it's a science tag and it is just straight up 2 victory points. So let's do that. All right, next. Rummy. Don't need the 2. Don't need the queen right now. So let's draw. Okay. I guess let's discard this. Ooh, Ticket to Ride. Excellent. So this is the one. Oh, right. I just completed both of these. So let's draw some new ones. See where it takes us. Well, that's easy. I'll take that one. That. I've already got a couple of those links. Yes, let's do that one. And no, that one will be difficult. So let's just do those 2. All right, cool. Wizard. Let's play that. And another wizard. There. Somebody outrank me. I'm actually winning this game. Somebody take this away from me. This is the last round of it, too. Alright, there we go. That's caught up. I'm not actually in a ton of tables right now. I've been to EP the next couple times. Or the last couple weeks. Maybe I'll make some boards tonight. Or at some point this week. Because there's been There's a couple new games that look really pretty. Like Refuge looks really nice. And we've established that I get drawn into new games based on how pretty the art is. So maybe I'll make some boards of some interesting things. I know Kite did a round, last weekend that I didn't end up joining any of because I was too sleepy and then they all launched. But yeah, it happens. It's been a slow. We go into lulls. We're allowed to sleep. It's fine. Yeah. I want to go back to that screen. That's the one I want. All right, there we go. BRB. Hello, camera. But if you sleep, then you wouldn't be a member of the Totally Awake Club anymore. That is true. That is the downside. I mean, we could have a subsidiary branch that's the Totally Asleep Club. Alright. I want to do that. Also, Sasha has returned to her place eeping on the couch. So we'll see if she decides to wander back up here again. Tea. All right. Where were we? Here's that corner. There's that corner. Ugh. So, as a reminder, I'm behind. These are actually last week's hexagons. And once we finish attaching this last one, I'll start making this week's hexagons. A whole week behind, I know. I know. quite get fully caught up by the end of stream, but that's okay. I do actually sew on my own time as well. Streams are just to make sure I get a minimum amount of time sewing. I mean, unless Sasha decides to take over. Then all bets are off. Sasha takeover can happen off stream too. It's true, and it does. Anytime I pick something up to like start working on it on my lap, that's when she decides she wants to cuddle. Or the moment my alarm goes off in the morning. Like, I don't know. Silly Kitty has decided that my alarm means that it's time for her to jump up on top of me and cuddle. Despite the fact that what the alarm actually means is it's time for me to get up and go to work. Streams are for baby appreciation. Sewing is just how you fill in the dead air. You know what? That's fair. I accept that. Sasha's the real streamer. She's just real lazy and I have to pick up her slack. Alarms meant food. Actually, no, we don't have an alarm set for her food. She gets fed at 5 p.m. Sometimes a little early, sometimes a little late, depending on whether or not she's asking us. But we don't actually have an alarm for it. The alarms that she mostly hears are the alarms for us to get up in the morning, and then also Kara has an alarm set for 6 p.m. to take her meds, but that has nothing to do with Sasha. Alright, time to make some hexagons for the week. Well, that's easy. That's a 1. So it's the fabric that's on top. The other one goes behind.
Is this enough thread for another hexagon? Probably no. That is a 4 on the die. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, next is a 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that's an 11. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That one. That's 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sometimes it's just easier to stick the needle in your mouth. Cheat code is to stick it in your beard. Ooh. That is a cool cheat code. Well, and if you're doing cross stitch, the needle is blunt, so that would be even easier. I'm using a sharp for quilting, which is like a lot thinner and a lot pointier on both ends than a standard cross stitch needle. But yeah, that is a good cheat code. I like that. I need to make some more papers. I don't have a clipboard in reach. 1 second. Davis's cheat code is to let others do the stitching for him. I mean, that also works. That works really well, actually. Where's my paper scissors? There they are. Again. Another 12. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1 for this week. It's an 11. So high numbers this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It is not. It is off-brand Hello Kitty. I mean, it's very Hello Kitty like, but it is not actually like branded Hello Kitty. But yes, the art style is very similar. It's Welcome Pusscat. Maybe. You never know. I don't even remember where I got that fabric. I've had it in my scrap bin for ages. There we go. This week's hexagons. Perfect.
shuffling. Here we go. Unpack. All right. Looks like I have a shot at catching up if the star of the show doesn't return. Maybe, we'll see. Joining them in usually takes slightly longer than making them. So I may not quite get all 7 attached, but we'll see. And like you said, the star of the show could always return for her encore. Oh no. Well, you still got time. You know what they say. The best time to have made soup was an hour ago. The second best time is now. Soup time, soup time. Leek and potato soup sounds delicious. What if deconstructed soup? So what? Like, you take a swig straight from the bottle of broth and then bite a raw potato? Is that what you're proposing? Just take a swig of chicken broth and eat this whole baby potato. But the crunch is so nice. You don't understand. One of the biggest, like, call of the void things that my brain does is anytime Kara is, like, chopping or slicing raw potatoes for, like, a dish to, like, make roasted potatoes or whatever, my brain is always just like, crunch the patat. Crunch it. Crunch the raw patat. I don't know why. My brain just wants to eat the raw patat.
thought raw patat was potentially poisonous. Oh yes, I think Randus is right. So the potato like plant is poisonous. So if it's starting to sprout, you can't eat like the sprouts and the eyes. But I think if it's like peeled and chopped. Eyes? Yeah, so do you not call them that? So when you have a potato, like just a whole potato with the skin on, and it's got like the little divots in it where it's got like the little like woody bit where the sprout will come from, but it's not sprouted yet. It's still just like a little dark divot hard spot. Those are called the eyes. What do you call them? Oh, you just don't call them anything. Okay, fair enough. I've always heard them called the eyes. I don't know why. Other than if you're like making a Mr. Potato Head, I guess it kind of makes sense. But I think it predates Mr. Potato Head. Yeah, we've always boiled patat to make potato salad. Because then it's softer and nice. Oh wait, I think Kara just got home. I could potentially ask her if she comes upstairs. See, if Kitte were here, they would have done their own independent research already and have an answer for whether potatoes are poisonous. I'm just waiting to yell at Kara.
potato are nightshade plants. The eyes and the green are bad. That makes sense. I do remember hearing that they were a member of the nightshade family. Okay, so if it's like a peeled and chopped up potato and it's just like the actual inner flesh of the potato, eating it raw is okay. It's just the rest of it. If the flesh is bitter, it's also poisonous. That makes sense. So I should not crunch the raw potato, but boy do I want to, for some ungodly reason. I want bites, it's true. Oh my gosh, yes, cattails look like such a good texture. And yes, I've heard that song. Kara has it on her Spotify playlist. Hi.
Hello.
You're home early.
Oh, I thought it started at 8:30 this morning.
Oh, nice. Cattails are weird swamp plants? Yes. And also, it looks like it would be nice to bite them. Soup! Congratulations on Soup Kitsune.
A little bit, yes.
Okay, I will not disturb her from downstairs then.
Is she still curled up on the couch?
Yup.
Yeah.
Very eepy. Very, very sleepy-eyed when I walked in. Just kind of looked at me and then went, good night.
Yup. Yeah, she was up here briefly.
Just to check on you.
no, a jump scare. Randus, how dare you? That's so mean. Oh, it's so spooky. Spoopifer, what are you doing? Besides, I guess, being spoopy. Gigantify and emote. I didn't even know that was an option, but I kind of love it. Oh, with bits. That's why. Thank you for the bits. Very much appreciated. That's adorable. It's neat that it also does the, like, animated ones, that it lets you gigantify the animated ones, because that's really cool. there's a lot of you now. I know you are extremely big and fluffy. Please work with me here. Oh, Randus, congrats on your new haunted oven. I would be careful with that if I were you. It will make great Halloween pies. That's true, it probably will. The trick is the thunder shock in each slice. Yeah, that sounds about right. Eh. Come back here, needle. yep, looks like Randus is right. I'll have just enough time to attach all these pieces and be officially caught up. I'm going to go slightly past 2, but that's okay because I started a touch late. Alright, there we go. That is indeed caught up. Excellent. Hexagons are bestigons. You're right, Hopebot. Thank you. And I have so many hexagons. And there will always be more hexagons. There will never be an ending to the hexagons. Alright, let's snip this one free, and then we'll call it a stream. So next week is the 22nd of December, and the week after that is the 29th of December. I am planning to stream both of those Sundays. I'm not going anywhere for the holidays.
So my plan is to be here at the normal times doing more of this. I might stream other days, depending on time and energy, who knows. But I should be back the Sundays at the least. So yeah, here we go. It's coming along. It's almost done. Well, the top is almost done, and then I'll probably start quilting it on stream so that you guys can see what hand quilting looks like, because why not? But yeah, I hope you all had a good time. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for chilling, and thank you to all of my followers and subscribers, and I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, I should be back next Sunday. I hope you all have a safe and wonderful holiday season as we get into like the thick of it. Everybody in the Northern Hemisphere, please stay warm. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you all in the future. And I have to get up to be able to turn the stream off, so that like saying goodbye is awkward. But, you know, I'll see all you guys later.